Hello, Rob here from the Flanagan Homestead. Today I had a day off. I didn't have to go into work today, so I had a nice sunny January day and I got a lot of projects done. And I'm going to take you along on the video and see all the different types of things that a guy has to do on the homestead on his day off. There's a number of interesting things we did today. I had to move animals to another pasture, feeding them, burning underbrush through the woods, mowing my Hobbit house lawn, cleaning driveways, making bundles, just all kinds of things that go on the Flanagan Homestead. Stick around and see how it goes. So come and join me on my day off. First thing, the sun is about to rise. It was freezing last night. Got to build a fire to keep the house warm. The fire went out last night. I always have small, short kindling pieces. Build myself a 4-stack log cabin and light it with my flamethrower. Easiest way to get a fire going. That will be roaring in a minute. Before we head out on the day, we're going to take a little bit of time to read my Bible and pray. Best way to start the day, and then we'll get going on the projects. A couple minutes later, the kindling that was on top of the 2 logs is going really good. And at this point in time, it's going to burn. The coals are going to burn down onto the logs, and we're going to knock down the kindling. Throw some more pieces on top. As I head outside to feed the animals, which is my first chore every day, here's a few things that I have on me every day because I need them. Okay, I have my Leatherman right here. I don't use the knife a ton because I have another blade here, but the pliers needs to be used. And I always have my pruners here, having blueberries and fruit trees and a Christmas tree farm. I always need the pruners and they're always on my hip. Like to put those a little further back so as I'm bending forward they don't stab me. I always have in my pocket here, not this tripod, but I have a utility knife for box cutters because there's always something that I want to cut, but I might want to get aggressive and I don't need to worry about ruining the blade because I could just put new blades in. So I always have these in my back pocket. And then last but not least, well, not last yet, I have my reading glasses. Unfortunately, at this stage in life, I need my reading glasses for up close. And if I'm working on some equipment up close, I need to see what's going on. And then last but not least, I have foam earplugs that are always in my pocket because invariably sometimes throughout the day I'm going to be running some power tools or some equipment and I need to protect my hearing. So normally I feed the animals right here at the barn. I have the pipe cut in half that lays in a trough. I put some grain in there and give them some hay. But this time of year, there's not much pasture to be grazed here. They've grazed it all down. So when I'm home, like today, I like to take them across the canyon to a different pasture. It's mostly blackberries, but both the sheep and the goats will get feed out of that. And then I'll leave them there all day and I'll bring them back before the evening sets where they're safe here in the barn. I have had difficulty getting the whole herd over there. I have 3 young lambs that are hesitant to go, and usually they stay, so I got their moms to stay here. But then when I have half the flock or herd on the other side and half here, they just keep yelling back and forth to each other all the time, and it's kind of annoying. But just the other day, I got the young lambs to follow me to the other side, so hopefully that'll happen today, and they'll all be over there, and they'll be more content, and they have more to eat over there today. What happened here? My fence, my gate is already open. Come on, come boss. Come boss. Come on, come boss. Barbara's giving me problems today. Come on. Come on, boss. Come on. Come on. Come on, Barbara, bring your lambs. Here we go. Come on. Oh, there they come, jumping up the hill. Come on. Here we go. Oh, a ram almost knocked me over going through. He's not aggressive to me, but he gets excited and he's big. Come on. I don't see the other two little lambs. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on, little lambs. Come on. Man, those two are falling behind. Here they come. You guys are causing problems. Let's go. Your mom's going to be upset if you're not here. Here we go. All right, let's get our lids out for our grain. I used to have Christmas trees in there as well, but we're going timber here. But I come down here and take off some of the lower branches on the trees so the grass can grow in between, and then the sheep and goats can feed off of that. You can see all about me a lot of branches from a maple tree that was growing up really tall and hindering the growth of the Doug fir that I wanted here, also making it so grass couldn't grow in this area. I'm going to start stacking this up right over here for a burn pile. We've had a burn pile there in the past. I'm not going to get it all today, but this is one of those things. You just come back and do it a little bit at a time. Then when you have a pile, you give it a burn. You can see both the goats and sheep are getting in on the branches I just cut down. They're going to eat some of those needles. So this is an example of why I keep my Leatherman on me with my little pliers. I was cutting the branches on the ground, and you can see I ran across some old fencing that I didn't see, and got it pulled up in my bar. This could be a mess, but the Leatherman gives me a chance to both grab this and yank it out, and if need be, clip the wires. There's not a ton of grass over here in this pasture. We're trying to get some more established. You can see the lambs working on that. There's a couple ewes working up on the Doug fir branches I just cut down, and you can see the goats doing what the goats do. They're climbing up the logs and getting the blackberry vines wherever they can find it. And this is why I really need the chainsaw. I'll get these logs that are messing with my fence out of the way. Now back up near the house, it's time to feed some chickens and we'll go gather some eggs. Feeding the animals along with working the chainsaw in the other pasture took about an hour. Now I'm going to start working on pruning some fruit trees, and I got to clean out the shop because I got a chipper shredder coming. Okay, I've got all the tools I normally have when I'm pruning my trees. I got my pruners for the smaller branches, loppers for a little bit larger. I don't have my reciprocating saw with a pruning blade. I actually like that for a lot of larger branches, but it doesn't matter because I have this here today. We're going to give it a try. The GTA 26 cordless powered pruner from Stihl. I recently read a quote that I believe applies to the challenge of homesteading. It reads, "A master in the art of living draws no sharp distinction between his work and his play, his labor and his leisure, his mind and his body, his education and his recreation. He hardly knows which is which. He simply pursues his vision of excellence through whatever he is doing, and leaves others to determine whether he is working or playing. To himself, he always appears to be doing both." All right, just had a quick bite to eat. And I just filled up the wood rack. This was empty recently. This is right in front of the front door of the house. And we come out and get firewood here. The rest of the firewood is stored behind the pump house. Let's take a look. So when we come behind the pump house, oh, I knocked over my bucket of kindling there. We have two distinct sides. This side over here is for next year's firewood is curing. And this is this year's firewood. We're going in and emptying out this side. When it's all gone, I'll fill this up again this summer, let it cure for a couple years while I burn this next year. So when we come behind the pump house, oh, I knocked over my bucket of kindling there. We have two distinct sides. This side over here is for next year's firewood is curing. And this is this year's firewood. We're going in and emptying out this side. When it's all gone, I'll fill this up again this summer, let it cure for a couple years while I burn this next year. I know a lot of people are going away from wood stoves and many prefer a propane stove or just electric heat. And I understand this, it's cleaner and easier, but I enjoy moving the wood and the heat of the stove, of a wood burning stove on a winter day. Plus, if the utilities go down, I can heat my house. I do enough woodworking here in the garage that I collect quite a bit of sawdust. The blueberries and the raspberries love this sawdust. So instead of just throwing it out, I like to scoop it up. And when I get a bucket on the way down, I put it lightly across the blueberries and raspberries. I could put a lot more on there than I actually do, but I'm not going out purchasing it. I just slowly add it and disperse it as I get it. Just a little bit of sawdust added here and there over time, again and again, adds up, and it really does help your blueberries and your raspberries. The commercial blueberry farm down here in town added 6 inches of sawdust this year. Next on the to-do list is to clean up a little bit of the shop here. This shop is kind of multi-purpose. Let the camera adjust. I still have onions that were drying here, and it's kind of our cellar now. You can see I have a mess of tools over there. But what I need to clean up right now is right over here. On top of these boards I had, I think, 30 bales of hay, 20 some bales of hay. I store hay in the barn out there, but I can only get 40 bales in there. So I use these up first, I gotta clean this area up because my wife bought me a wood chipper, for a large wood chipper for Christmas, and I need a place to store it. You can never have too much shop space, and I wish I had more. This shop we built just for storing some things. It was going to be a gravel floor. Then COVID hit, and all the workout facilities and weight rooms were shut down. And my son, who's doing CrossFit, wanted this to be a workout room, so we made it a weight room, workout room, which friends came and worked out in. And now that they've moved on, it's time to put it back into farming. Next on my list here, we're inside the barn. I can store 40 bales of hay up in the loft of this little tiny barn, but I have to go up and climb up and get it down. And so I'm going to go get a couple bales, throw them down today, and then move the rest right up next on the edge here so they're easy to pull down. I normally just step up on these buckets and then that runner right there and then try to climb up, but I'm getting tired of doing that and I don't want to risk a fall, so I'm going to try to add a couple rungs on the fence here so I can climb up there a little bit safer. Now it's time to try out my new step here. I will still use the bucket on the first step. Get up here, use my hay hook. It's always hanging here. Let some bales down and then pull the rest to the front. Drug my lawnmower up the hill. That was quite the challenge. Before I loaded up to take down below, it didn't want to start. So I'm going to use some starter fluid, put it in the carb here, maybe some carb cleaner, see if we can't get this thing going. In the back of my pickup, I've got some of the tools I need to move my project down to the lower property. I got my blower, my chainsaw in there, and I've backed up my truck to the hillside here so I can just get the front end, put the mower up here, get the front end up in there. Oh, come on now, and then I got my mower for working on the Hobbit house. All right, this job is your classic, not that you want to do it, but you need to do it, so I'm going to do it first so I know I get it done. I need to prioritize it. It's time to grease my excavator. I've done a couple tanks without greasing it, so it's time to do it again. The nice thing is I just pressure washed my excavator, so a lot of those grease zerk areas that are full of mud and crud, it should be all clean, so I should be able to get in there quite easily. I always tend to get this all over me, but I do have paper towels here to help clean up. Hopefully I don't end up wearing a lot of grease. This is a job that I dreaded when I first got the excavator, but I seem to be getting better and faster at it and learned the routine to get it done. I believe there's 17 different grease zerks that I have to work on each time I grease the machine. I'm putting some diesel in now, so it's all ready to go the next time I need it. You saw earlier that I loaded up my lawnmower so I can mow the lawn up by the Hobbit house. This time of year, the lawn is not growing that fast, and I wouldn't get too terribly long. But because I planted this late in the fall, what growth I get, I want to mow down so that it'll spread out and thicken up instead of just grow taller. You can see that I have to go up and down the hill. If you can recommend a good riding lawnmower that can get up and down hills and turn quickly, I'd greatly appreciate it. I don't want to continue pushing a mower up the hill like this. If I bought a zero-turn riding lawnmower, would it ride up this hill? And so the canes are off the ground and they're thin, they're dried out. And so I'm gonna go ahead and set fire to these. There's a nice breeze running up the hill. You'd say that's a forest fire hazard thing. This isn't Southern California. You cannot start a forest fire here this time of year. You can in the summer. I'm not saying to be careless then, but this is January. And I found enough dry days in a row that I'm gonna be able to light these canes on fire and most of them are gonna disappear. And here we go. See, the height that those flames are going right now, if they were right up against a tree, they'll burn off a lot of the needles. So when it gets closer to the trees, I will try to slow it down a little bit. But as far as fire getting out of control, nope. This is just clearing the extra fuel on the ground. I know a lot of people that don't live in this area of the country are going to see this and think, man, that's crazy. You know, they've been seeing all the forest fires in California and other places. This is in the middle of the winter, and this is in a very wet area of the country. I'm lucky to be able to get stuff dry enough to burn away like this. So it's not going to take off. I do have a hose. You'll see me running around with it. It's not that I'm afraid it's going to take off, but I want to keep the flames low enough that it's not super hot around these young trees because I don't want to singe all the needles off. Burning well up there still. It's hitting the fire trail, it's got to stop. A little frustrated that I couldn't get this to burn. Hopefully it'll crawl back this way as well. Here's a time lapse from a different camera angle, so you can pretty much see the entire area that I'm trying to burn and what we accomplish. I probably worked on this for 40 minutes, and we've condensed it down to about 30 seconds. Again, I was frustrated that I couldn't get more to burn out. Next project I'm not going to spend a lot of time on. I'm going to go up and down once with the blower on the road. There's a lot of stuff that's been packed in for all winter long. I'm not going to get that off, but anything that's reasonably loose and my backpack blower will take it off. then we're going to blow that off.
Paving the road is one of the improvements I made to this property. I don't think you could tell in the video, but that's about a 16% grade. It's quite steep. And now that I have two people living up there in RVs, the traffic up and down when it was just gravel and with all the rain, it was just getting torn up too much. So I paid the $17,000 I needed to do this little stretch of paving, but it's been worth it. And it's just improved the value of the property. This section of the road I share with my neighbor. It is on my property, but the neighbor that bought the property that goes up the opposite direction, he actually owns a paving company and paved this section. Didn't ask me for a dime. That was pretty nice.
There's several firewood bundles gone from my firewood stand, which is a good thing. It means I made some sales. I'm going to back my pickup into the dry side of the firewood shed. That's the wet side. And my pickup's right here. And I'm going to use the tailgate as a bench to make some more bundles, put back in the stand. All right, we're going to start making my bundles with 2 cents of twine and a stick. I don't know how many bundles I'm going to be able to make because I'm running out of twine.
For my firewood stand, I don't make a ton of money for the amount of time I spend in it. Yeah, I cut the trees down, split it up, cure it, dry it, bundle it, put it in the stand. But for someone that works as a school teacher all day and is chasing kids around, coming and just working on firewood in the evening, that is kind of therapeutic.
According to my statistics, there's 10 bundles gone, so there should be 50 bucks in the pay station. I've already got the lock off. Let's see how we did. 20, 40, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Exactly what was supposed to be in there. It's a little after 4 o'clock in the afternoon. The sun's starting to set. You can see over here on this side the firewood that I've already been splitting of the new logs. I've got a ton of logs and rounds down right here. And if I have a little time, I like to get in, use the splitter, and start splitting these and throw it on there. Before it rains, I'll throw a tarp over this. But I got a lot of wood to split right now. And once I get through that, which won't be today, more logs to cut up into rounds. I put my jacket back on. 1, it's getting cooler, and 2, this Carhartt jacket's good to protect the arms as I'm wrestling around with the rounds of firewood.
Splitting the firewood was one of the last jobs I went to today because it wasn't critical that I have it done. I already have some wood cured in the shed. This pile is something that just continues to grow. If I have 30 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever, I just come and do a little bit more firewood, throw it on top of the pile. The pile grows and the rounds get all split and get done.
I'm back at the house. The sun is starting to set. It's a nice, pretty little sunset. One thing I got to do though before I can call it a night, the animals are still across the way. I need to go bring them back where they will be safe in the barn and not out in the woods with some cougars and coyotes. They've probably been out in the woods eating all day long, but as the sun starts to set, they'll probably be at the gate waiting for me. One thing I didn't do on the way down was feed the trout. Here's a chance to do that. All right, guys. Are you all here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where's the little lambs? Come on! Come on, lambs! I'm missing 2 little lambs. I was a little nervous, but I hear them over there. Usually they're quicker to follow their mother. Where are you at? Well, there you are. Come on. Come on. Let's go home. Everybody into the hay feeders. You guys all piled into this one really tight. Now I have probably come to one of the least favorite parts of the day. I have to put all the tools back away where they belong. Not that I have that many today, but I'm tired and I want to be done, but I've got to put the stuff away.
And as always, thanks for joining me on the Flanagan Homestead, where Christmas trees are my business, teaching and including horticulture is my job, and outdoor projects are my passion. Hope to see you again soon, everyone. Be blessed.